What's going on, guys? It's Andy here. So in today's video, I want to share with you guys how to go about buying your first property. Now, I bought my first house when I was 22 years old. So I'm going to go ahead and share with you guys a step-by-step process on basically all the things you need to know, from researching a house to going ahead and getting financing for a house, and everything you basically need to know before closing on that house. Now, in regards to real estate, I believe real estate is one of the best investments that you can make early on, and I'll basically share with you guys everything that I've learned in regards to purchasing a property. And basically you can use this step-by-step guide if you're looking to purchase your first home, or if you're looking to purchase your first rental property, or whatever type of property it may be. Now, if you are new to my channel, I make videos around business, personal finance, and investing. So if you like any of those topics, make sure to subscribe to the channel down below. And if you don't mind just hitting that like button. Now, just a quick plug here from my sponsor. This video is sponsored by Webull. Webull is a trading app where you basically get 2 free stocks, 1 free stock when you set up an account with them, and a second free stock when you deposit at least $100 in your account that's worth up to $1,400. But now, just some of the benefits in regards to owning real estate or owning a property is that there's a lot of tax advantages. And when you're working for an employer and you have to pay taxes, you can actually get all those taxes back by having all these write-offs. And basically, when you own a property, there's a lot of write-offs that you can have. All the interest that you're paying on your property, as well as any type of maintenance that's due to a business expense, can all be tax deducted. Plus, there's many other tax advantages. Additionally, buying a house is a much safer investment than investing in something else. Now, historically, if you look at historical data in regards to buying a property, you can expect that your value of your property will go up 3 to 5% every single year. Now, comparing that to maybe investing in the stock market, or investing in a business, or investing in something else, it's a lot higher risk usually. So buying a house is definitely a lot lower risk than investing in one of those other variables. But that's personally why I like to invest in real estate, and why I've been investing in real estate since I was 22 years old. But now I'm going to go ahead and share with you guys a step-by-step guide in regards to practically starting from nothing if you're just starting to do your research. Now, the first thing that I would say is to go ahead and do your homework. Now, when you're looking at buying a property, do your homework as far as what are the other properties in your area that you're looking at, and how much are they selling for, as well as are those up and coming areas. Is it a place that you want to live at? Is it a place that you want to invest in? And basically figure out all the expenses that come with owning a property, as far as maintenance expenses, as far as the taxes in that area. Now, a great way to go ahead and learn and do your homework in regards to real estate would be watching videos like this on YouTube. Now, there's a lot of people on YouTube that are real estate brokers that are basically making videos like this around real estate. So the more you can actually learn in regards to buying a property, or buying your first home, or buying an investment property, the better it is early on. But once you've done your homework, the next step that I would take is I would go ahead and start reaching out to different brokers. Now, when you start reaching out to brokers, a nice app that I personally use myself to this day is Zillow. Zillow is a great app to go ahead and see all the houses that are basically on the market. Now, when a house shows up on the market, when you're on Zillow, you can actually see who the selling broker is for that house, and you can actually find them by Googling them and going ahead and directly reaching out to that broker. Now, personally, by going ahead and talking to a broker, you can actually find out a lot of information about the particular areas that you're looking at. And the nice thing with going with a broker is that you're never tied down to one broker. So if you're working with one broker, or let's say you reach out to a broker in regards to a property, you can go ahead and reach out to multiple brokers. Now, a lot of times a broker is definitely going to try to push you because they want that sale. So they would rather go ahead and represent you as the buyer as well as represent the seller, because they'll get double the commission. But it's never a bad idea to go ahead and reach out to brokers once you find an area that you're actually interested in buying a house in. And there's definitely a lot to learn by just talking to a broker. Now, at the same time, while you're talking to a broker, you should go ahead and review your finances. basically looking at all the cost and getting a cost breakdown of how much it's going to actually cost to go ahead and invest in that property. Now, in general, if you're looking to buy a property, if it's going to be your first time buying a property and this is going to be a primary residence, you're usually looking at putting down at least 10%. So for example, if you're looking to buy a house for $100,000, you're going to need at least $10,000 just to put down on the property. And then on top of that, you're going to need additional money for closing cost. And closing cost usually is about 5% of the total value of the property. So in this case, I would say you'd need another $5,000. So in total, you'd need about $15,000. Now this is if you're buying the property to go ahead and live in. Now, if you're going to be buying a rental property, then you're going to need at least 20% down. So it's always a good idea to know upfront what your costs are going to be for the house. Now, another thing that I really like to consider when I'm looking at buying a property is the taxes in that area, because once you even have that property paid off, you're still going to have to pay those taxes. So it's always good to know that up front as well. So finding out your full cost is a great first step to get started. And now let's say that you've already looked at all your costs and you basically have the money to go ahead and put down as a deposit. And additionally, you've gone ahead and finalized the area or the particular house that you want to actually purchase. The next thing that you're going to need before you can even go ahead and make an offer on the house is you're going to need a pre-approval. And basically, a pre-approval is a document that's given to you by the financing company or by the bank. And basically, a bank is looking at some of the documents that they'll require to go ahead and give you this pre-approval. And a bank's basically saying that, hey, if everything's in line, you are good to go with the financing and we'll go ahead and finance it. Now, it is not a commitment, but at the same time, it gives the seller reassurance that, hey, this is a serious buyer and that they're committed to buying this house. And usually once you get the pre-approval, you do have a certain period of time before you need to get a commitment from the bank before you can go ahead and close on the house. But in regards to getting a pre-approval, a couple things that I would keep in mind is the interest rate that you're going to go ahead and want on the house. If one bank is offering you a better interest rate, go ahead and reach out to the other bank to be like, hey, I'm getting a better interest rate at this bank, and then let them go ahead and compete for your business. Additionally, because you're going to be working with a mortgage specialist, you want to go ahead and start building rapport, and you basically want that mortgage specialist to be on your side, because at the end of the day, you want that mortgage specialist to go ahead and close on this property and be on your side and maybe give you some advice along the way. And now, as far as getting a pre-approval, there are going to be certain documents that the bank's looking for. Some of the things that they're actually looking for is they're going to be looking at your credit score. They're going to also want to confirm that you have the money in your bank as far as the amount of money that you need for closing. And usually they'll ask for at least 3 months of bank statements. Apart from that, they're going to want to go ahead and get at least 2 years of tax returns. And they're going to want to go ahead and look at least 3 months of your pay stubs. Now, the last thing that the bank also looks for is your debt to income ratio. Basically, they want to make sure that you can afford this house and that you don't have too much debt out there. And the way they look at that is they want to make sure that your debt to income ratio is under 40%. So for example, if your income is $1,000, they want to make sure your total debt combined is not over $400 out of that $1,000. So you have enough money to go ahead and pay that mortgage on an ongoing basis. So it's just another way for the bank to go ahead and secure and look at the safety of lending that money to you. But next, let's go ahead and say that you went ahead and now got that pre-approval. At the time you got the pre-approval, you can go ahead and now submit your offer on that particular house. But once you go ahead and make that offer, the seller usually likes to go ahead and turn around that offer within 24 to 48 hours. And if you did make a bid and it did get accepted, congratulations, and we'll go ahead and move to the next step. But if your bid did not get accepted, you're basically going to be going back to the drawing board. But I've had this happen to me multiple times, so I never get stuck on one particular property, no matter how much I like that property. But now, just going into the next step, once your bid has been accepted, the first thing that you want to go ahead and do is to go ahead and schedule an inspection. Now, in many states, an inspection is actually not required, but an inspection is a must. Now, when you get an inspection done, usually you got to use a third party. And a lot of the times the broker will go ahead and help you with that because they've been working with other people and they might have companies that go ahead and do inspections. But once you get that inspection back, you want to go ahead and make sure that there's nothing in that inspection that's going to hold up the closing, or there's no huge expenses that you did not expect. And if there is something with the house that basically needs to be repaired, you want to go ahead and either negotiate that in the price, or you're going to have to obviously pay for that expense as well. But now we're going to say that everything came out solid during the inspection. And basically at this point, the next step is going to be to go ahead and get your commitment letter from the bank. And at this point, you want to go ahead and reach out to your bank specialist and basically let them know that, hey, you found the house, you want to go ahead and close on it. They'll go ahead and prepare the commitment letter, but they might ask you for some additional information if you weren't able to provide all the information up front. But apart from that, at the same time, another person that you want to go ahead and start talking to is going to be a closing attorney. Now, to go ahead and schedule a closing, you do need an attorney. Sometimes you can represent yourself, but in a lot of states, you do need a closing attorney. But once you have your commitment letter and you got your attorney involved, your real estate broker is going to go ahead and basically walk you through the rest of the steps. They'll go ahead and schedule the closing. They'll go ahead and work with all the different people to go ahead and gather all the documents. The bank will go ahead and get that information from your real estate broker. So basically everything usually ties together at that point, and you just want to stay connected to your broker, and they're basically your main point of contact. But basically guys, at that point, once you go ahead and close on the property, congratulations, you own that property. And at that point, if you're looking to move into the property, obviously you go ahead and do your thing. Or if you're looking to rent out the property, then you're going to have some additional steps because you want to make sure that the property is in good shape to rent out. And then you want to go ahead and start looking for tenants. But at this point, guys, that's basically the whole step-by-step process in regards to finding and buying a property. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions in regards to the process, and if there's something that I missed, let me know in the comments below. But this is basically the general process as far as to buying your first property. If you are new to my channel, make sure to subscribe to the channel down below. And if you don't mind just hitting that like button. But that's gonna be a wrap. I will see you guys at the next one.